Hi there, Dan Miller, Historical Solutions LLC. It's Monday morning, October the 9th, I think it is. I'm just going to do a couple of minutes here for you because I feel compelled to do so. We went into the start of our weekend on Friday with one type of world, and we're back into the work week here on Monday with another kind of world. And I think I should at least offer a thought or two about that. Of course, I'm referring to the Israeli-Hamas war that has been started and declared, and will be ongoing for the near future, the foreseeable future. Seems to me my value to you lies in a particular direction, not to try to make sense of the day-to-day and the hour-to-hour kinds of news militarily or politically or whatever else, but take a step back and maybe bring a little bit of a different historical slant to it. And I've done that, I think, in this case. So I want you to think about two wars now happening at the same time, right? And we all know what they are. As I said, Israel, Hamas, and Ukraine and Russia. So what I want you to think about is the connection. Is there a connection, and what does the connection look like, and how does that then become a force of its own that will affect people's lives? I went back just real quick and found three other times in the 20th century where there was this kind of connection between two armed conflicts that had occurred. The first one is World War I and the Russian Civil War. The second one is World War II and the Second Sino-Japanese War. And the third example, I was going to say World War III, God forbid, but the third example is the Korean War and the First Indochina War. These are all instances where two different conflicts are occurring of some very real and large significance. Not that they're both the same, but they are occurring at the same time. And so I've got four things here really quickly I'd like to just have you tuck in the back of your mind. Number one, what will connection look like from the standpoint of the Ukraine-Russo war and the Israeli-Hamas war? Number two, will one become a new stage or chapter in the other? Number three, how will one potentially serve as the fuel or the energy for the other? And don't think that this all has to be sequential, that the newest then has a certain type of relationship with the older of the two conflicts. It may not necessarily be the case. So will one become a new fuel or energy source for the other? And then fourth and finally, how will they together then set the stage for something that happens after them? I think all four questions are important when you look at the three examples I gave you of paired conflicts from the 20th century. Last thing here before I get out of your way, I do want to remind you that I think it was last week, I want to say it was October the 5th, in my entry for Americanism Redux 250 years ago today. So last week's entry, October 5th for 1773, I believe I referenced the fact that there are two things that have emerged in that world in North America. You have a conflict that is beginning to unfold in the Ohio Valley, small scale, but nonetheless a conflict that's very real to the people there. And then secondly, of course, you have this boiling kind of tension that's political and social and imperial along the Atlantic coast of North America, the 13 British colonies, and their relationship with England on the other side of the Atlantic. Those are two different physical areas that are having their own either quasi-war or not yet to be war. And so that reminds me a little bit of what we're seeing right now. And my question then was, will those two things connect? And if they do, how will that connection look? And gosh, here we are now in the weekend and with the weekend beyond us, and we're already seeing that as a possibility of an important question that we can ask of ourselves right now, again, with Ukraine-Russo and the Israeli-Hamas conflicts. So keep an eye on Connection. I'm Dan Miller, Historical Solutions LLC. Hope you're doing well, and I'll talk with you soon.